Hello, guys, and this is episode 10 of the Whips Nation podcast. I'm your host, Alex, and our guest today is Whipsnakes attackman, two-time PLL champion, Matt Rambo. Matt led the entire league in points and assists in both 2019 and 2020 seasons and was the recipient of the league's very first MVP award. We talk about his best wingman, Tucker, playing lacrosse at Maryland, and his passions for golf and cooking. And now, the season finale of the Whips Nation podcast. And in 3, 2, 1. What's going on, Whips Nation? This is your host, Alex, on the Whips Nation podcast. We have Matt Rambo here today. How you doing, Matt?
What's up, guys? Thanks for having me.
Of course. So, hard to ignore the pictures behind you. You said you were in Florida in a bungalow. How's that going?
It's going great. During the pandemic, I didn't know if I could coach a Philly and do a bunch of my stuff. So I headed down to Jacksonville Beach, in Ponte Vedra. I'm living on a beach right now in Florida, but I'm getting out of here this afternoon to go back up to Philly before training camp. So it's definitely been great down here. I did a lot of clinics, did a lot of lessons, coached high school, youth, everything. Have the stick in my hand and just I'm excited to get back up north, though, for a little bit.
So how's the lacrosse scene in Florida?
It's good. My Ponte Vedra team was really good this year. We were ranked in the country at one point, 25th. So we were legit. But North Florida is growing fast. There's a lot of good talent, a lot of good kids coming out of here, like Dylan Hess on Georgetown, Carter Parlette's on Notre Dame. There's a bunch of guys that I could name that all are playing D1, and we have a bunch of guys going D1 and guys around this community like Creekside and schools like that. They have guys going D1. So it's growing fast, and I'm just excited to just be a part of, a little bit of change of scenery for once in my life and, just test out new waters, and we'll see where it goes from there.
I hear you there. So do you see Florida as a potential stop for the PLL in the future?
There's definitely a market for it. I have a lot of people. I was just in West Palm Beach, just doing a tournament with my U12 team. We actually won the championship. I'm happy for them. But, there's so many people that were coming up to me and asking me if we're ever going to have a game there. And there's so many people from South Florida to North Florida, Orlando, Tampa, the Palm Beaches. There's so many lacrosse, teams and clubs that are really excited about lacrosse right now and excited for the PLL, excited for college. So I think it could potentially be a spot. I think, we should change it up every year instead of going the same spots, which, I love going the same spots, Baltimore and Albany, Philly, stuff like that. But, why not try out at Florida and see, what kind of crowd we can get and kind of show these kids, what pro lacrosse is, or, even if they had a tournament. I know it gets super hot, but show what college lacrosse is. I know there's, JU down here, but just show these kids what the next level is like instead of seeing it on TV and see it in person. I think you can grow so much with lax IQ, and, it'll get these kids excited.
That's right. Nothing's more exciting than going to a PLL game. I was pretty spoiled. My first 2 PLL games that I went to was the All-Star game, which was pretty cool just because it was different. And then obviously the championship in Philly. That was probably the best sporting event that I've ever been to. It was phenomenal.
Yeah, all the lacrosse guys are all the same.
Yeah.
And it's such a small community, and they're so similar, and I think it's so much different than other sports where, you go to a football game and people can be rowdy, some people can be chill, there's fights, there's not, people are mean to each other, there's the opponent, from a Philly guy, we get a bad rep, but when you're at a lacrosse event, everyone's super friendly, and especially with the PLL, there's so many teams in one event that there's so many different fans from different teams. You might have an Atlas fan, a Whipsnakes fan, whatever the team is, but everyone's kind of going for the same purpose to watch good lacrosse. And like I say, and the PLL says it's the best lacrosse in the world. So I think it's definitely cool to go to a PLL game, not just for the team you're going to watch, but to just see good lacrosse.
No, definitely. I agree. Best players in the world, obviously. You being obviously near the top of that. Now, with you, the first time I watched you play lacrosse was my freshman year in college. You were on TV for the Under Armour All-American game back in 2013. And I kept hearing this guy's name called Matt Rambo, Matt Rambo, Matt Rambo. You just must have been scoring a ton of goals. And all I thought was, damn, that guy's got a cool name and he's big. Like, those are like the two things that I thought. How was that experience for you playing in that game?
That game is like what every high school kid wants to do. You want to be in that, top 40 kids in the country and get invited to that All-American game. You get so much gear. You get to hang out with, guys all over the country that are going to the top schools and, the top recruits. So it was definitely cool being there. It was an awesome experience, just hanging out with some of the guys. We got to pick our lines. One of my best friends, Colin Heacock in the world, he was on my line, so I got to play with him before we both got to Maryland. And after that, we went right from there to summer school. We had to go to summer school before college just to get a couple more credits in, just to, train with some people like to do it, just to, train a little bit to kind of get a feel in. And, for me, I wasn't the smartest in school. I got a high enough SAT and GPA, but they wanted me to do some other summer stuff, which it was totally cool. A lot of football, basketball, and some of my good friends are in the NFL now, so it was an awesome experience. I got to see the campus, but that game was so much fun. I think I still hold the record for 8 goals in a game, so that was pretty cool. But,
no, I think you do.
Yeah, so I was just shooting the ball a lot, coming off I was pointing, I was just shooting it. We were just having fun. It's kind of like the all-star game. Obviously, you want to win, but at the same time, you're just there to showcase. People are doing crazy stuff. It's super competitive, obviously, but it's not competitive like you're playing on a Maryland or Whipsnakes or your high school team. It's more fun. You can do creative stuff. It's more free flow.
No, definitely. And speaking of Colin, so he's one of your best buds. He got drafted to Chrome, and you guys are going to be playing them week 3, June 27th in Baltimore. How excited are you for that matchup?
Well, that's going to be awesome since we both went to Maryland and we get to reunite. But I'm excited just to hanging with him again. I mean, we still keep in touch. We call each other every other day. But I've been down here. He was in Maryland. The pandemic stuff was going on, and when the first happened, you didn't know what was going on. You were trying to be as safe as you can, and as it went on, obviously we learned a lot more about Corona, how it wasn't as deadly as people thought it was. Obviously, it was deadly. A lot of people died, but for people my age, it was hard, and just to be around them every weekend again and hang out. Obviously, when we play each other, it's going to be a battle and it's going to be hate. That's how we both are. That's how we're both,
wired. Yeah.
Wired. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We're wired together. That's how we are. We're fun off the field, but once we put our helmets on, it's a war. And be my best friend off the field, but when you're on the field against me, we're gonna go at it. I'm just happy he's not a defenseman, and I hope I'm the best. I hope he does great. I hope he crushes it. He's in great shape, and I'm happy he's over from the MLL, and I'm happy that there's just one league instead of, everyone competing in one league or 2 leagues. It was getting kind of annoying, and it was just, people were battling. You pick a league, and it's good lacrosse. It's good watch good lacrosse.
Exactly. So I gotta ask, who's the better wingman, Tucker, your bulldog, or Colin Heacock?
I guess it has to be Tucker, but Colin's a close second right there. But you bring that bulldog around, everyone's flocking to you. He's a good wingman, and he's single.
Wow. Okay, that's good. It's good to know. Is that your go-to move, just to bring Tucker to a park and just let the ladies flock, or what?
He's at my parents' house.
Okay.
So I don't get to live with him every day, but I do when I go home. I do like to bring him on walks, and we get to hang out. And he's lazy, so it's hard to bring him to the park. It's hard to bring them on walks. 20 minutes outside during the summer, that's it. They might have heat stroke, so they're very pampered dogs, and they like the cold better than the warm weather.
Gotcha. So you like warm weather, and you specifically like playing golf in warm weather. When did that start? When did you start getting into golf?
I think right after college, I started getting into golf a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Played a little bit here and there in
Yeah.
college, competitively. Not like I'm playing competitive now, but like I work on my game. I try to play as much as I can. It's like an addiction, and I played so many nice courses this year. I went down to Scottsdale and
Yep.
played a bunch of places. Troon, Weekapo, Greyhawk was awesome, and then we played the stadium course. We were the last, me, Blaze Reardon, Kyle Burnlorn, Pafani. We were the second to last group to go out before they shut the course down for the tournament. So we got to play in all the stadiums.
The waste management, right?
Yep, the waste.
Okay. Yeah.
So it was unbelievable experience. I played, I try and play everywhere in Philly. I bring my clubs now when I travel to when I do my camps and clinics all over. I just try and stay a day or two. Just played an awesome course yesterday, Pablo Creek, which is super private and it's really hard to get on. But one of my buddies is a member there, so as much as I can play, I'm not the best still. I'm in the 80 shooter. Sometimes I broke 80 last week. I got 79, but other than that, I'm like 11, 10, 9 handicap, which I shoot in the mid 80s, low 80s, sometimes high 80s. I try not to shoot in the 90s anymore. So if I shoot in the 80s, it's a good day. But if I can shoot under 85, it's a great day.
I'm still in that zone where I just like it's a good game to get, like high 90s, That's kind of
Right.
like where I'm at right now. And it's hard to like break through that just because I don't golf all the time. And like when I do, it's in Arizona. So there's, plenty of, good courses and guys that are willing to teach you and help you learn and get better. That's what's pretty good about golf is, the community is always like really, willing and able to help you out.
Yeah, everyone's trying to help you out with golf, with your swing and tips, and
Everything.
I learned a lot lately. So I never took a lesson, and I don't know if I'm ever am. I kind of like being, kind of original with my golf game, and we'll see where it goes. I'm definitely not the best in the PLL at all. There's guys in there that are way better. Pinnell's like a scratch. Salcedo won an amateur tournament this year.
Wow.
There's some guys that are legit down here, and I just go out there for the social aspects, obviously have fun. It keeps my competitive spirit up. We always play for some money, and we always got to gamble. It makes it more interesting. Not hundreds of dollars, but even if it's $5 a hole or something, you don't want to lose money. And
just some skin in the game, right?
Right, and I like to put people on their knee, bend the knee if they lose them.
I was gonna ask you about that. So when did that start? For those who aren't familiar, Rambo consistently posts on his story on Instagram. Follow him at Matt Rambo, by the way. When you play someone in golf, if they lose, he makes them bend the knee, and he usually says like "good boy" or something patronizing like that.
It's just so degrading. We used
It
to
is.
play my Pafani and some of my boys back then. I think it's from Game of Thrones.
Mhm.
We used to play racquetball all the time.
Okay.
At fitness. It's a little different from squash, and it's a lot more running and good agility. And we used to love it. And we used to play for hours a day, and especially when we were home from college. That's when we started getting into it. So we started betting, put it on our Instagram, bend the knee, and then it just trans over to golf. And sometimes I play some of these dads that are 40, and we bet for it. And when they have to get on the knee, they're like, I wish I didn't get on the knee. I'd rather pay you twice the money to do it. It's embarrassing, but it's awesome. And sometimes if guys are smart, they'll be like, all right, but if I win, you got to post on your Instagram too. So if they sneak that in there, I will. But if they don't sneak it in there, I want to show the people that I'm bending my knee. You don't want to be bending your knee and someone's like, good boy, way to bend the knee, you lost me. So
Right.
It just keeps it fun and loose too. So that's what we like to do. And you got to have fun while you're being competitive as well.
Yeah, that's so funny that you mentioned that. Because going home from college, I always try to find something like to keep me in shape and something to like stay competitive. And I discovered squash. So it's like really similar to racquetball, except the ball doesn't like bounce. So you got to have a lot of like east to west movement there, just to like make sure that you can hit that ball. Just because it doesn't bounce, you got to get to it pretty quick. It's really hard. My thighs and like my ass were so sore after like playing squash for the first time. It's ridiculous.
Gotta have to have that drop shot. We used to play.
That's right.
Me, Tucker Durkin, and Blazier, and
Yeah.
like every couple of days, just because it's a good workout. It's so
It
good.
is.
You're all over the place, and like I said, it's competitive. You throw a sweatshirt on, you're trenched. And we used to play all the time because we couldn't find racquetballs. So we just played squash, and we learned, and we were just getting really good at it. But you know, you play some of these older guys. Some of this guy I was playing.
Oh, dude, they work you. Well, they work the court. They command like the tee, you know, like the middle of the court, and they're making you run. Right? They have very limited movement. Like when I play like the older guys.
They just know where to hit it. They know where the ball's going.
Yeah.
They make you run all over. They'll drop it in the corner, make you look stupid. But, you know, it's awesome. It's an awesome game. And, you know, not a lot of people know it. A lot of people are getting that paddle and the pickleball stuff, which is, I never really played yet. I played a couple times, but that's pretty interesting too.
Definitely. Yeah, next time you're in Arizona, we got to hit the squash court.
Gotta hit the squash and the links.
That's right. So kind of bringing it back to your college days in Maryland, kind of walk me through that. And you were obviously highly recruited out of high school. So what made you choose Maryland?
You know, I did my tour around a bunch of schools.
Yeah.
For the longest time, I was like the #1 recruit. My senior year, I kind of got down to the #2 recruit. A good player, Jordan Emmers, got the #1. He was wearing number 22. But, you know, I was so highly recruited from like 8th grade up. I was playing up with the high school kids.
Right.
So I just wanted to do a bunch of stuff. I looked at, you know, all the big schools, you know, Penn State, Maryland, Hopkins, UNC, Virginia. My brother was at Hofstra. I looked at Hofstra. You know, I talked to Syracuse, a lot of Philly schools too. So it was kind of like I just had to go fit where, you know, where I thought I would fit in. You know, some schools were more preppy, some schools academically were way too tough for me, and they didn't have the academic support with tutors and, you know, stuff like that, which I needed. And, you know, I fully admitted I needed tutors to help me get through. I needed someone to be on my butt during the season or out of season to make sure I was good. And that's one of the things my mom really wanted me to have was make sure the academic support was really going to help me out. So, you know, I don't get, you know, I don't fall behind. And a lot of people are like, when you talk about academic support, and they're always like, you know, college athletes always have it made, and you can, you know, it's like cheating, but it's not cheating. We're just getting help. And people don't realize how much time we put throughout the day with practice and games and film and working out.
Right.
You know, it's 8 hours, you know, between working out, going there from class and back to practicing for, you know, 3 hours, shower, lift, you know, eating. It's a lot of work. So, you know, the one thing I loved about Maryland when I was younger, we were allowed to go out with the team. So I'm not sure how it is anymore. I'm not a college coach. I'm not on the college campus. So we were allowed to go out, you know, make sure they took care of us, and had a couple Sprites or whatever, and, you know, have a couple pops when we were there. But, you know, they took care of us. They made sure we were the freshmen. They wanted to give you the full experience. You know, even if we were like 17 years old, it's not like every other college kid that's 18, 19 are doing the same stuff. So they wanted to show you the college experience. They wanted you to go out with the team, to vibe with them, because especially Coach Tillman, he wants you to make it the decision, not because it's Maryland, because it fits for you, because he admits it's the biggest decision of your life. You know, guys are making the decision when they're 15 and 14 when they can't even drive a car yet. So it doesn't make sense. I'm happy they pushed it back to like junior year. So for me, Maryland was a blue collar school. My dad's blue collar. I'm from a blue collar family, and Philly's kind of blue collar. So Maryland fit perfectly. The coaches I loved, at the time it was Coach Warren. He's a Georgetown head coach. Coach Moran, the UMBC coach, and Tillman. I vibed with all of them. Coach Repper came in. He was amazing. Coach Conner was amazing. Coach Mattis was amazing too. He was one of the best off coaches ever, I think. And we just vibed, and it was great. I loved Coach Tillman. He let me go visit all the other schools, kept my scholarship there, said he wouldn't touch it. Some other schools said I had 30 days to commit before they take it away. And I was like, I haven't even looked at every school yet. I'm going to look at every school before I make a decision. I'm not going to look at one school and do it. So Maryland just fit. When I went out with the team, the whole team was together. Everyone was invited. No one was left out. It was a one team. I went to some other schools, and there was more cliques. One group here, one group there, one group there. And I was like, I like that. I like everyone being together. And, you know, it was close to home enough that I could have my family come to all my games. And I think I made the right decision.
Definitely. Who committed first? You or Colin?
Colin committed first to Penn State, then he decommitted and went to Maryland after.
Was that because that you committed to Maryland and you wanted to play with you? I mean, was that part of it? Or
he's from Maryland, and I think he just wanted to go to Maryland. I think he was a Terp fan growing up, so I just think, you know, I think after just like thinking about it for a long time, it was eating away at him probably, and he was like, I want to be in Maryland, and you know, and he came, and it was the right decision for him. You know, he was happy. He did great. He did great academically. We were in like every class together, and it was fun. And you know, I don't know if the coach is too happy with him decommitted because he was one of the highest recruits, but you gotta respect him going where his heart is, not just where his head is.
And I know you guys had a pretty sweet place up in Maryland. I saw it was like almost like an MTV Cribs episode with Kark. He came into your guys' place. I don't know if you want to talk about that at all, but I
mean, it was a college house.
Yeah.
It wasn't sick, you know. It was pretty cool. I mean, we didn't know he was gonna come in the house. We should have cleaned up a little bit more, but we gave him the real thing.
That's right.
And you know, we had a couple couches, a couple TVs.
That's right.
Bedroom on the first floor, bedrooms upstairs. We had a big side yard where we used to hang out after games and stuff, and yeah, we had a good time. So that's all you can say. And
that's right.
There's nothing. It's a college house. It wasn't anything special, but it wasn't clean.
That's right. And then even back then, just the tour through the kitchen, he was just going through your pots and pans. You're like, so who does the cooking here? And then you guys were all like, oh, Matt's the cook. You know, Matt's the chef.
That was funny. And then they all call me fake chef and stuff. But,
yeah.
I mean, we didn't cook that much in college. I'll admit it. You know, we went and got food out, and we had, you know, the card to swipe at the dining hall. There was like stuff, Chick-fil-A, salad plates, whatever you wanted there. And that's kind of where we went a lot, and that's where we got our food, or we went off campus to got some food, but wasn't too many cooking, maybe some breakfast and sometimes dinner, some chicken and stuff, but nothing crazy. We were college, we were busy.
Yeah, exactly. So when did the cooking start, right? When was Chef Rambo born?
You know, Chef Rambo's been dead lately. I haven't put anything up. I need to get back on my grind. I've been in Florida, and my kitchen hasn't been the best, and I've been just grinding so much with lessons and coaching so much, but I've been cooking here a little bit. But it started back when I moved at home, and at first I would take a picture of some stuff of mine, and my mom would teach me how to cook pasta, so some of it was hers that I was posting, and then I started getting into it a lot when I moved into Philly with all the guys like Frank Brown, Chris Cloutier at first, and like Blaze. Blaze is a great cook. Blaze is awesome. Blaze is better than me, I admit it. And you know, he cooks a lot. He cooks a lot of variety stuff, and a lot of stuff he just makes off his head.
Really?
It's great. I do cook a great steak, and I love cooking a steak on a skillet. I don't even put it in the oven. That's how I do it. I like
me neither.
5 minutes on the side, maybe 4, and that's it. Sear the sides, and I've been using the air fryer a lot too, which is great.
Me too. It's a game changer, dude.
Put chicken in there for 15 minutes.
That's right.
Look where it's golden brown. I put my veggies in there. I put my Brussels sprouts in there with salt and pepper for 20 minutes, and they'll come out crispy but juicy. It's a game changer.
Game changer.
Not cooking, I'm like, whatever, it tastes good. And it looks good.
That's right. So two things. First, I'm glad that you appreciate Brussels sprouts because it's totally overlooked, right? Totally underrated. 2, I'm glad that you cook your steaks in an iron skillet. I think it's the only way to do it. Walk us through like cooking the perfect steak on an iron skillet.
Right. So if I do a perfect steak, I'm gonna season it with some salt and pepper. I had some of the steak seasoning from my steak guy. He was like a Philadelphia Wings season ticket holder. We became close. We were buying the steak. It's called Ashley Foods.
Okay.
Shout out to Ashley Foods. It was great. And
Shout out.
We would get the top steaks in the city. Like, they were giving them out to there, but we would get them at pretty much whole price because it's coming from the butcher right there. So I'd probably season them up. He gave me some seasoning too. Season them up. Let them sit for like an hour or two in the fridge. Nothing crazy. You got to heat the iron skillet up before you put it on. People don't know.
Of course.
That was one of my rookie steaks when I did it. I would turn it on and put it on the steak. You got to let it sit there for a couple minutes.
Right.
There's some butter on there, and you just slap it on. And you don't touch it. You don't move it. You don't flip it too many times. You flip it once. That's how I do it.
You got to get the crust, right?
You got to get the crust.
Yeah.
The crust is key. Make sure there's a bunch of seeds on it so the crust is extra hard. And you flip it, and then I flip it around like 4.5, 5 minutes. I don't like mine medium, so I like mine red in there with a little bit of pink even. And then if I'll get my tongs and I'll try and get the sides if they're not fully done, just to get a little bit more. And then so sometimes I'll put it on the plate and let it sit there for like 20 minutes, and then let all the juices suck in and everything. But this dude Mike actually taught me a way. He does his on his grill, which is hard. It's definitely way harder.
It is, yeah.
After when he's done, he puts a piece of butter on top of his steak and then wraps it up in tinfoil so all the juices stay together. So then when he unwraps it after like 10, 20 minutes, he puts the steak there, all the juices in the tinfoil.
Like infusing the meat, right?
And then he dumps all the juices right on top of the steak, so it's extra juicy, and it's unbelievable. We were getting Wagyu stuff from this guy for cheap, and that's when we were more careful with it. Then that's when we're just searing it each side in the oven, trying to make it perfect. Blaze had a meat thermometer. I started using that a little bit. We ordered some electric one, but during COVID, I think someone went in our package room and stole everything. So I never got it. So I like to keep it, with my eye. But, if you want to be a really good cook, use the tools that they're there.
Right.
People got to use your eye. You got to do it on the fly. It's like, well, there's a meat thermometer that's going to tell me it's 125 in the middle, then it's 125 in the middle. I don't got to double guess myself. Right. So, the meat thermometer is huge. Then I put some asparagus in the oven, let them sit there, let them get all hard. I like throwing a little bit of Parmesan cheese on top too, my asparagus. And, if you want to put a sweet potato, you put a sweet potato on there too. But, meat and veggies is my thing. I'm not a huge potato guy.
Yeah.
I was never a French fry guy. I'm never a potato guy. I'll have it, but I don't get potatoes with my breakfast. I'd rather get fruit. Not that I'm trying to be healthy or anything, but I'm definitely trying to be healthier nowadays, but I'm just not a potato guy. So I like sweet potato over regular potato. So that's my whole thing. And, a good steak's a good steak. You can't beat a good steak. We go to this place, Barclay Prime, when I get back. It's like one of the top steakhouses in the country. And we do it up there. Our bill's high. It gets up to 500 bills with two people. A couple dirty
You're eating right.
A couple dirty martinis. And lately I've been going there, again, the Wagyu steak or Wagyu cheesesteak, Wagyu beef with truffle cheese on top, and they make the bread right there, and it comes with a bottle of champagne for $120 cheesesteak. It's the best thing I ever put in my mouth, hands down. Everyone that goes there, they don't get the cheesesteak. They says it's too much. I'm like, you get a bottle of champagne with it. That's there. Every person I take there, whatever, I get it, and they bite it, and they're like, this is the best thing I've ever ate in my life. So, if you're ever in Philly, you got to try this place. It is unbelievable. And Scottsdale has really good steakhouses.
Steak 44.
44.
One of my favorite spots. It's Larry Fitzgerald's favorite restaurant too. Yeah, super good.
Steak 44. They're just putting one in Philly. And the wait list is huge, man. It's like a couple weeks, because it's that popular. And it's not like a chain. It's just like there's like a couple around the country.
Right. Yeah. There's two. So there's two here. There's one Steak 44, and then they open one up in South Scottsdale called Ocean 44. So they focus more like on seafood. It's a very similar menu, just they add a couple different options there. But their thing is they serve their steak on a 500-degree plate, so it like stays hot the entire meal.
That's unbelievable. I gotta try that. You know, that sounds amazing.
Yeah, let me know next time you're here for sure.
Yeah, Philly has something like that. It's called it's like Ocean Prime. I don't know if Barclay Prime owns them or whatever, but it's like a great seafood place. When I was in Scottsdale, we went to some crazy place with a crazy steak for $3. You might know they get their drinks. I didn't get it. It's like a girly drink. They light it on fire right there. Looked like there was like trees in the middle of the place. It was pretty cool. I gotta let you know later what it's called.
Yeah, let me know what it's called.
It's pretty great. Oh man, it is unbelievable. The steak places nowadays, especially. I just learned the other day, and I was in Orlando with this older Terp Sash. He gets it Pittsburgh, so he gets an extra charcoal on top, and it's medium rare.
Wow.
So it's extra crust on top. So that was great. I'm gonna ask someone what that steak is.
Yeah, do it for sure.
You're gonna know exactly what it was.
I'm sure I will. Yeah. It's just crazy how you can go pretty much anywhere in the country now and find like a quality steak restaurant. It really doesn't even matter where you are.
Right where I'm at in Jack's Beach, you know.
It's not a good place.
There's Ruth Chris, and I don't even.
No, that's a chain. That's a true chain because those are all over the place.
11th South down the street. They have good steaks. A couple places I'm here. More in Jacksonville City. There's stuff, and you know, Jacksonville gets a bad rap, I think, from the past. But this city's growing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't go around the city. I stay at the beach. There's a bunch of bars. There's everything I want right here.
Right.
But I go to this place, 11th South, and it is unbelievable. So every season, they switch their menu. And for the last 17 years, they have these lamb chops that haven't been taken off, and they are unbelievable, and they're great. So, you know, I could talk about food all day, and I'm sure you could too.
Of course, yeah.
Scottsdale got like the best food too.
The thing that makes food great here is that Arizona's kind of like a retirement spot. So people come and retire here from all over the country, and they bring those recipes, and their kids open up the restaurants. So like we're getting, you know, amazing Asian food, German food, like food from like all over the place. It's just phenomenal.
That's how it is in Naples. Naples has great restaurants too. If you ever head there, they got great restaurants like retirement, older community, and
definitely
great.
Okay, so I'm gonna kind of wrap this thing up here with this last question. So by time this interview airs, right? So this is the finale for season 1 of the Whips Nation podcast, right? So this last episode is gonna come out one day before you guys play Chaos. Okay. What's your prediction for that game, for the rematch? The official prediction.
I mean, I'm never going to say we're going to lose, but I heard it's bad luck to say, you know, we guarantee a win. I'm not guaranteeing a win because I don't know the rosters and everything, but, you know, I got faith in my team. I think our offense got better and our defense is the best, hands down. There's no argument. Like, people trying to argue. There's no argument. We proved it 2 years in a row. We proved it on the stats. We proved it through history. Someone just put up. Like, we got the best D. We got arguably the best goalie. Him and Blaze are the best. And, you know, Kyle had like the highest save percentage last year. I think like 63.
Yep.
We had the best faceoff guy last year, Nards. Like, we got the pieces. And arguably the best player, Mike Earhart's unreal. He's all over the field. And, you know, we got great new guys coming in. I'm excited. Chris Islanian, Frank Brown, Brian Cole, you know, a lot of young guys. Like, I think our draft pick, what Staggs does is unbelievable. He just kind of just does it right. Like, everyone's looking for those big names, but then, you know, he gets what we need. We needed a midi. He got that big boy curse. He's a big dude. People don't realize how big he is. He's like 6'something", 230, 240. Like, he's going to be hard to stop with him and Channy, Brad Smith. John Hawes is the boy. He's the best. He does everything. And, you know, you got so many people there. So, you know, I'm excited to be back with my attack line with Zed, and Jay Carlson is great. I've been talking to Jay left and right, Maryland guy, one of my good buddies. Zed, I talk to every week. So we're just excited to pick up the chemistry where we left off. And, you know, I think we still got a chip on our shoulder. I don't know why. I just feel like we always got a chip on our shoulder with the Whipsnakes. I feel like, you know, I'm not saying we don't get respect, but I don't feel like we get the respect that we deserve. Like, I don't think anyone talks really about, the championships we win. They don't really talk about our team on the PLL thing, and we don't want them to talk about us.
Nope.
I promise you, I'm not coming here to bitch and be like, hey, we need them to come and talk about us more on the PLL. We don't want you to talk about us. We don't want you to hype us up. We don't want, all our posts being about us, because there's not a lot of posts about us, and that's how we like it. We like being the villain. We like being, not talked about, and that's how we are. We're strictly business, and that's what we do. And, we don't go for the home run plays. Like we say, we hit singles, and that's about it. So I'm excited for the season. We got a meeting, all this, this off season with the new guys and everything. And, Stags tells them the system, and that's the system we're playing in. It's been working this pro league. We're calm, we're steady, we're consistent. And, when we're down, we don't panic. We didn't panic when we were in the championship game.
Right.
I remember the championship game. I told everyone to calm down. We got a whole quarter left, and we scored 9. Like, anything could happen. We scored like 4 in a minute. Like, anything can happen in this game, and we just got to be calm. We got to be collective, and got to value that little yellow ball now. And I'm excited for the season. I'm excited where I left off. I think I got a lot more to prove from last year. I feel like I didn't prove enough. So, we're all excited. We all got a chip on our shoulder, and we don't talk about a three-peat, really don't. We talk about, winning the next practice. We talk about winning the first game, or the first 5 minutes, actually. We don't even talk about, beating Chaos. We talk about beating them the first 5 minutes, and that's it. Then we'll go to the next 5 minutes. You don't look too far ahead, and that's when you get distracted. So we're just excited to go out there. I hope we get a big win for the season out in Gillette. And, it's good to be back with the boys.
Definitely. Well, Matt, thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate your time. Best of luck, going into training camp this week, and best of luck week 1 against Chaos. Where can people find you on social media?
People can find me on Matt Rambo on Instagram, on Twitter. My Twitter's a little different. It's not, all about lacrosse. I put some stupid stuff out there, and it's more about my brain and my thoughts. But yeah, follow me. I put a lot of stuff up. It might be me or Nardella put probably the most stuff up on the Whipsnakes about, our story. So come follow us and follow our journey this year, and, hop on the train if you want to be a fan. If not, we like our haters too.
That's right. Well, I appreciate you, Matt Rambo. Appreciate you coming on.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. If you made it here to the end of the video, go ahead and comment down below your favorite part of the interview, and thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please go hit that like button for the YouTube algorithm and subscribe for more Whipsnakes content.